Well, welcome back. We've got Lori Langley in the studio this morning. Thank you so much, Lori.
Good morning.
And I can tell you have Mardi Gras on your mind.
I do. We're giving you guys some warning this time. Sometimes the holidays fall on the days that I'm here with the recipes. You don't get a lot of time to plan and prepare, but today you've got until tomorrow to get all of your things together and make this awesome cake that you can share with family, take it to work, have a little bit of fun with it. It's pretty easy and it's very festive. Yes. So a lot of people ask, they've heard of king cake, but some folks that are from a little farther south than us, it's a very important tradition for Mardi Gras. And king cake is essentially like a cinnamon roll, a fruit roll type of a dessert, covered with lots of icing and of course the colors of Mardi Gras and that purple, green, and gold. So we're going to kind of get those flavors all together, but we're going to do it in something that's a little bit, little lower key today. So we're going to go with that Bundt cake style, but we're going to get all those warm cinnamon flavors in there, all those yummy icings on top. So
sounds great.
This is a scratch Bundt cake recipe that is pretty basic, but you can use your favorite. A Bundt cake typically is going to be a little more of a pound cake texture, so a little denser cake, but really soft and really got a good crumb to it. So whatever your favorite is on that, if you have like a vanilla pound cake recipe, go with that. You can even use a mix on that. There's no judgment there. But the important element that we're going to add to it is a cinnamon blend throughout the cake.
Yes.
So all I have here that I've been kind of lightly getting all the little clumps out of is some white granulated sugar and some ground cinnamon. And I actually added in there just a couple tablespoons of brown sugar because that gives it a little more of a melty crunch when it bakes. So we're going to take this, and it's perfect to use those little containers that have a good tight lid, and just give this a really good shake to make sure that's well blended and that cinnamon is really coated in with all of the sugar. And then we're just going to set that aside. The rest of our ingredients that we've got out is we're starting with some room temperature butter, which means I'm going to be able to take my spatula and really easily poke into that. It's not melted. We don't want any liquid in there, but just really nice and soft. We're going to add to that some more white granulated sugar, and we're going to blend that together. Now, I'm not going to run my loud mixer on you guys this morning. We'll do that in between, but we're going to mix this together until it's really nice and fluffy.
Nice.
Very important that we get that granulated sugar well combined with the butter. That's why it helps when it's really nice and soft in that room temperature. After we've got that well combined, we're going to add 3 eggs to this, and as usual with our baking, large eggs. Yes. It doesn't say otherwise, always large eggs. And that's a little bit variable from store to store sometimes. So make sure you're really checking out your eggs. Brand to brand, you'll notice a vast difference in size of large eggs sometimes. And then in my little measuring cup over here, I'm going to lightly mix together with my fork. I've got a little bit of whipping cream and a little bit of just whole milk. And there again, when it comes to milk, we always are going to use whole milk whenever it doesn't specify anything else, because we need that fat content. When we want that good flavor and that good texture to it, we're going to use whole milk. So I'm going to set that aside. And then the last thing I've got to kind of pre-prepare is just all-purpose flour. And we've got a little bit of baking powder in this, not baking soda. Make sure you're using baking powder. And we want to whisk that together really, really well. And I kind of did the same thing as with my sugar over here. I put my lid on this,
just
give it a good shake. If you don't have that, or you can put a good lid on it, you can sift that through there with the baking powder with it. So we're going to combine all of these ingredients patiently until we get a really nice thick dense batter. And when we come back, we're going to show you how to layer this well into your pan so that it bakes beautifully, and then make that lovely icing for the top.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
Well,
thank you, Lori. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. We've got Lori Langley in the studio, and we are in the Mardi Gras spirit.
We are
making a Fat Tuesday Bundt cake.
Yeah, it's all going down tomorrow, whether you realize it or not. This month is already just zooming by for us, so we've got to get prepared. You've got today. Get all of your ingredients. In the break, in between our first segment and now, we creamed together everything for our cake batter. And it's pretty basic pound cake. We started out with butter, sugar, flour, a little bit of baking soda, some vanilla, some eggs, all of the standards. And if you have a favorite recipe that you love that's a vanilla pound cake, use that. It's perfectly fine. You can even start with a pound cake mix. But you'll see this is a very thick dough.
Yes.
We were commenting, it's like for a cake batter, it is very, very thick. And you'll see that it is almost enough to just hold up my spatula indefinitely. It gets a little bit lazy. So that's on purpose, but it's also very smooth and creamy. So you'll see that batter in there. You want to get all those lumps of the butter out of that and make sure your sugar is really well incorporated. So we should have a thick but very nice and smooth dough. We're starting with that Bundt cake pan, and we've got the cinnamon and sugar and a little bit of brown sugar as well in that we mixed up to start with as well. And I actually like to take just a little bit of that and put it in the bottom of my pan to start with. So we get just a little bit of that almost crunch to the top as those flavors kind of melt in as they bake. That's totally optional. Make sure that you grease, spray, flour, whatever your preference is on that, your pan really, really well. Anytime we do a Bundt cake, that is so important so that it turns out nicely.
And this isn't one you can just pour the batter in.
Nope, you're spooning this one in. You could almost put this in a bag and pipe it in there if you really wanted to save a little bit of mess. But we just want to make a nice layer all the way around there. About half, not quite half of our batter. And then we're going to sprinkle a solid layer of that cinnamon and sugar in there.
Very nice.
Get a good coating on there, and then we're going to come back with another layer. You're going to do a couple layers of your sugar and then like 3 layers of your batter. And then once you get it all in there, we're going to swirl it together just a little bit because we don't want to obviously have broken layers of our dough. Get just a little bit more. Make it nice and even there.
Yeah.
Some more of that good cinnamon mixture. And then we're going to plop in the last of that batter. But once we get it in there, we want to take a fork, a knife, it doesn't really matter what you use. You can even use the edge of your spatula. But we want to stir this together just a little bit. We don't want to totally mix it, but we want to get kind of some swirls of that cinnamon in there instead of it just being harsh layers.
Yeah.
So we'll get some of this kind of brought around, and then I'm just going to take that spatula and kind of worm it around in there a little bit. That's a technical term. And make sure that that batter is really well smoothed out into the pan. Now, I didn't come close to using all of that mixture. That's kind of a lot. But also, I doubled my dough recipe for this because I like a really nice, thick, tall Bundt cake when it comes out of there. That's your option. So I actually made a double batch, and I made a couple of these with a smaller pan. And what happens is then you get that all the way to the top. So when we come back, we're going to pop that out. We're going to make it glaze for the top.
Ooh.
And really bring our Mardi Gras colors together.
Oh, I can't wait. It already smells so good with that cinnamon.
Right.
We're going to be right back. Well, welcome back. Lori Langley is showing us how we're getting this Fat Tuesday Bundt cake.
It's
Mardi Gras ready. It is Monday.
We
That's
call
how
it
we know
whatever you need to.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Ideally, when you get this out of the oven, and it is going to take about 45 to 55 minutes to bake, depending on where you're at and what your oven bakes up like, you're going to do in the pan for 10 or 15 minutes. If yours comes up just a little bit like mine did, again, I added extra batter to this.
Yeah.
You can level that just a little bit, and we're going to turn this right out onto our plate. And if you really greased and floured your pan, well, he'll come out really nice and even on the top.
Oh, beautiful.
Now, yours probably won't come out with a piece already sliced. That's the magic of television.
You're just really talented, Lori.
It's pre-sliced, pre-decorated. It's like a Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
We're going to just show you, though,
Oh,
how
that
nice
swirl.
that little swirl is in there. But what I've got over here is a little powdered sugar, a little bit more of that whipping cream. I'm going to add to it just another dash of cinnamon because we can't get enough cinnamon into that. And then we're going to pour this over the top. What's really going to make us a nice little sort of Mardi Gras vibe going onto this is while that glaze is nice and fresh and soft, We're gonna sprinkle it with some sanding sugar and our Mardi Gras colors.
That'll be so fun.
So traditionally that would be purple, green, and gold. Unfortunately, your professional baker today grabbed our purple and green, but she did not grab her gold.
I wore yellow to make up for
We're
it.
gonna have to just do it in front of your beautiful yellow dress so that we have a little bit of that in there.
It'll be Mardi Gras.
It's perfect. We planned it this way.
Yeah.
Totally did that. So we're gonna add just a little bit of that glaze all the way around.
Very nice.
You can't have too much. You can make twice this recipe if you want, 3 times, no judgment. Put as much or as little on there as you want, but just get a nice even amount of it. Let it set for a sec, and it will kind of drizzle down there. We're just gonna tap it down those edges a little bit.
Ooh.
So we've got some kind of in and out. You want some in the middle. You can add some fresh fruit in the center of this. Some strawberries would be amazing. But again, like I said, while it's really fresh, because that glaze will set up quickly, just sprinkle some sections with those colors, because you have to be able to see them. You don't want to mix them all together. You want to see that line.
The kind of striping of it. Yeah.
And that's what kind of gives us that king cake vibe. Oh, and there's the yellow. Yeah. Happy Monday. We'll skip a little space there for some more of that and add a little bit. The sanding sugar is nice because it's not too crunchy.
Yeah.
It's not too much over the top, doesn't add a ton of extra sweetness, but it does add a nice sparkle and a nice color. So as you slice that out for everybody, it's just gonna look so festive, and it's a perfect way to celebrate tomorrow and have a little fun with it.
Oh, it's so much fun. I can't wait to be able to try this, Lori. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Well, happy almost Mardi Gras season. Happy almost
Fat
Fat Tuesday.
Yes.
So we'll be right back.